Hours before India's vice president is elected, a fresh controversy erupted over the opposition's VP nominee, B Sudershan Reddy. The former justice of the Supreme Court was calling upon various leaders of the opposition. He even issued an emotional appeal and said that he is fighting for the very soul of India, and those who are voting tomorrow for the vice president election should listen to their voice, to the voice of their conscience. But soon after issuing that appeal, guess who he met with? He met with RJD chief Lalu Prasad, and that naturally triggered a political storm. The BJP asked that, is this the kind of optics that you want to convey? You're talking about fighting for the soul of India while meeting with a person who is not just accused but convicted of corruption. Not just that, a group of over 25 senior advocates and former Bar Council leaders have also issued a statement criticizing Reddy's conduct, calling it a serious lapse in judgment. They say that this meeting raises very troubling questions about propriety.
Honorable members, I seek your support, not for myself, but for the values that define us as a sovereign democratic republic. In this election, there is no party whip and the ballot is secret. It is not loyalty to any political party, but love for the country that must guide your choice.
देश के सोल को बचाने के लिए मुझे वोट दें, यह है उनका कमेंट जो अखबार में आया है और उन्होंने वीडियो रिलीज किया है। और ये देखिए, देश के सोल को बचाने के लिए वो किससे मिल रहे हैं? लालू प्रसाद से। लालू प्रसाद फॉर्डर स्कैम में कन्विक्टेड हैं। आप किस तरह के रिटायर्ड सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जज हैं? जो व्यक्ति कन्विक्टेड है किसमें? स्कैम में, करप्शन में। जो व्यक्ति कन्विक्टेड है स्कैम और करप्शन में, आप जाके उनसे मिलते हैं।
दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है इस तरह की ओछी टिप्पणी, और आप जैसे वायर सर्विस के एजेंडे में आना, ये ओछी टिप्पणी है। इस तरह की टिप्पणियों के पर प्रतिक्रिया देना भी उचित नहीं है।
Okay, Tuhin Sinha and Harshvardhan Tripathi continue with us, but joining us now is Jebi Mathur, who is the Rajya Sabha MP of the Congress. I want to start with you, ma'am. Questions of propriety. Somebody is saying, I am fighting for the soul of India, meeting with a convict in a corruption case.
The India Alliance is fighting for a very big cause, very large cause. It is definitely to protect the soul of India, which means to protect the constitution and the democracy in India, which has been in a terrible state, as we have been repeatedly saying in the past parliament session and earlier as well. So when we are fighting, that we have chosen a candidate who has always stood for the justice and social justice and liberty.
But to meet
freedom,
a convict in a corruption
so
case, somebody who's out on bail,
election as part of election, definitely.
Ms. Mathur, here is somebody, Lalu Prasad ji is not just anyone. He is certainly not, somebody who symbolizes the fight for the soul of India. He is literally fighting for bail. He's out on bail right now. He's been convicted on corruption charges. He has been convicted for a crime that your party accused him of when it was in government. You remember that entire attempt that was made to bring in an ordinance to try and give him, a leeway when you were in government, when Dr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi had spoken against it. He had said this is absolute nonsense in the press club. Any ordinance brought in to shield the corrupt after conviction is absolute nonsense. And today your VP candidate goes and meets that very same person, Lalu Prasad. What does this say?
So when the larger issue needs to be protected, then India Alliance, when it is stand united, so the Vice President candidate has been meeting several leaders, because which is a larger issue becomes also prominent. when the democracy itself is at stake, when constitution is under threat, then we have to come together, and you can see how India Alliance have been jointly deciding on the candidate, which the media predicted it would be difficult, which the BJP had said it would be difficult, but we have jointly chosen a candidate, and we have been very forthright in a very serious fight. And this is not just a fight, this is not just for the office, but for the democracy and to protect the constitution. And that is why
I could be completely wrong and you could correct me, but isn't the constitution also under threat when those who are in power indulge in corruption? Doesn't that sort of put the country and constitution into chaos? And ironically, talk about bad timing, today he of course has been convicted in one case in the entire fodder scam, but today, on a day when the VP candidate was meeting him, there was another case that he challenged in court, which is the land for job scam. So there are other scams that he stands accused of as well, and on that day, your candidate goes and meets with him.
Here, what is the issue, larger issue which we are looking at is our candidate is for the constitution and BJP's candidate, the NDA's candidate is an RSS nominee. So we have to fight for what is there in the constitution, and we have to make sure that all doors are knocked, and that is a part of
so sometimes you have to make few sacrifices to India for the larger cause.
That is why we are looking at it very seriously on this election, and nothing short of, we don't want to miss anything now, and to ensure that every vote is cast
for the sake of cohesion. For the sake of cohesion, little adjustments, little sacrifices are made.
And India Alliance, see, this is just a good beginning. In the future also, you will see everyone so stacked and well joined and well.
Show of unity.
Clear now. It is very clear now that there is a massive disparity between the words and actions of the vice president candidate of the India Alliance. While he says that he wants to become the vice president to save the soul of the nation, in reality, his actions suggest that he is dangerous for the soul of the nation. Number one, he goes and meets a convicted criminal, Lalu Yadav, who does not have a vote in the vice presidential election. So clearly, he was under pressure from Rahul Gandhi or whoever. Lalu Yadav, by the way, is also charge sheeted, as you mentioned, in the land for jobs case. But throughout, if you look at it, he has a history of sacrificing the soul of the nation. Whether it was weakening a fight against the Naxal forces by running down, by negating the Salva Judum, as a judge in 2011, or by negating the plea for opening up of the Bhopal gas tragedy, one of the worst betrayals by the Congress government which this country has seen. And moreover, even as recently as last week, when he was asked on the Trump, on the tariff issue, he could have easily, made a statement in national interest. He said, "Am I the external affairs minister to talk about it?" So such people clearly cannot stand for national interest. Such people are quietly working against national interests, and I think, voting for him would be endangering the soul of the nation.
No, they are saying the greater danger right now is the RSS. So an RSS nominee, somebody with a former RSS background, CP Radhakrishnan, needs to be stopped. That is the bigger danger before the country.
Credentials.
And for that, Mr. Yadav has to be brought on board. Too bad.
This is the mentality of Rahul Gandhi, the rabid hate for RSS, a truly nationalist organization. If you look at the credentials of CP Radhakrishnan, not only has he been active politician with impeccable record, elected twice as a member of parliament, even as a governor in the last 4 years of at least 4 different states. He has an absolutely immaculate track record.
Okay.
So just by maligning him for his RSS connection, I think this Congress party is incorrigible. They will never learn from their mistakes. And in fact, you will be surprised tomorrow
this is another mistake,
when our vice presidential candidate wins by a greater number than.
This was a self-goal. Ms. Matha, can you hear me?
No, I didn't hear.
Yeah, the question asked to you was that this was a self-goal. The very suggestion that you have done, one, that your candidate, Justice Reddy, had that infamous judgment on Salva Judum that was already used against him. There were many jurists who wrote about it saying that that was a very dangerous judgment. And now this, that you are willing to hobnob or you're willing to platform all kinds of elements only in the interest of holding back the NDA candidate.
See, this is after a detailed discussion with all parties of India Alliance. We have chosen, and every party of India Alliance have accepted, and we stand together. And the record as a Supreme Court judge, he has a very good record and very committed and for social causes and for to ensure that justice is received. So he has that record. So that is why we have chosen, the party has chosen, the India Alliance has chosen, and we stand by that. And we definitely, we see what is the basic issue here. Basic issue is we are fighting to protect the constitution, and we will stand by that. We will go to any extent. We will stand together jointly and unitedly. Whereas we oppose the RSS ideology. It's not that today we are opposing. We have been opposing.
But don't you oppose
and
corruption?
That is something when coming to the office of the Vice President.
Scams?
Definitely, all these things matters. When the Parliament itself is under, we know how the bills are being passed in Parliament.
But ma'am,
it's
great that you oppose the RSS, and that's been your stand for long. But don't you also oppose corruption?
So we want the office.
Shouldn't you also be opposing people who have been convicted?
Definitely work towards protecting the soul of the nation.
Okay, soul of the nation again. Harshvardhan ji, soul of the nation basically is the rallying cry. And to be fair, a lot of people have said कि देखिए जब कल चुनाव होगा तो उसमें अजीत पवार के लोग भी तो डाल ही रहे होंगे ना. अजीत पवार के खिलाफ भी कई एलिगेशंस थे और भी कई लोग हैं बाकी पार्टीज में जिनके खिलाफ करप्शन के एलिगेशंस है. तो ठीक है, लालू जी की गलती बस इतनी है कि वो कन्विक्ट हो गए.
नहीं पद्मजा, निश्चित तौर पर बहुत से लोग भ्रष्टाचारी हैं और ऐसा नहीं है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी से जुड़े लोग भ्रष्टाचार के मामलों में नहीं है. लेकिन ये बड़ा सीरियस मामला है. ये सिर्फ इतना भर नहीं है कि लालू प्रसाद यादव से जाकर वो मिलते हैं. लालू जी बड़े नेता हैं, मुख्यमंत्री रहे, रेलवे मिनिस्टर रहे, लेकिन लालू जी के ऊपर भ्रष्टाचार के आरोप साबित हुए और कोर्ट ने सजा सुनाई. कांग्रेस पार्टी ने बाकायदा तय किया कि ऐसे लोगों को दोबारा राजनीति में ना आने से बचाने के लिए, और राहुल गांधी ने उस वक्त क्या कहा कि हम ऐसे लोगों को नहीं आने देंगे, यानी उस ऑर्डिनेंस के खिलाफ वो थे. आज राहुल गांधी उसी भ्रष्टाचार को अनदेखा कर देना चाहते हैं. कमाल की बात यह है कि सीपी राधाकृष्णन जो 2 बार के सांसद हैं, सीपी राधाकृष्णन जो इस देश के कई राज्यों के गवर्नर रहे, सीपी राधाकृष्णन का गुनाह क्या है कि वो संघ से जुड़े हुए. एक तरफ तो राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ जो एक देशभक्त संगठन है जिसने आज तक कभी देश के खिलाफ हथियार नहीं उठाया, और दूसरी तरफ उन नक्सली आतंकवादियों, माओवादी आतंकवादियों के पैरोकार जो देश के खिलाफ, राष्ट्र के खिलाफ हथियार उठाते हैं, जो सीधे सीधे देशद्रोही हैं, उनके साथ खड़े लोग. इतना भर नहीं है कि भ्रष्टाचार को ये लोग अनदेखा कर दे रहे हैं, ये देश के खिलाफ खड़े होने वालों को भी अनदेखा कर रहे हैं. और जिस दिन कनिमोझी ने कहा था कि ये तो हिंदुत्व वाले तमिल है, राहुल गांधी की मुश्किल ये कि एक कांग्रेस लीडर वो सिलेक्ट नहीं कर पाए वाइस प्रेसिडेंट के नॉमिनेशन के लिए. उनको ये था कि साउथ इंडिया से लेकर आना है. इसके बावजूद चंद्रबाबू नायडू तो छोड़िए, जगन मोहन रेड्डी भी उनके साथ खड़े होने को तैयार नहीं है. और जब आप नेशनलिज्म और कम्युनिज्म की बात करिएगा, राष्ट्रवाद और नक्सलवाद की बात करिएगा, तो भला कौन नक्सलियों के साथ खड़ा होना चाहेगा, चाहे आप पॉलिटिकली कह दें या फिर आज नक्सली जितने जगहों पर, जितने जिलों में रह गए, उसको भी आप देख लें.
पर सोल ऑफ इंडिया तो बचाना है ना. सोल ऑफ इंडिया के लिए थोड़ा बहुत तो चलता है.
नहीं, वो बचा लिया जाएगा. बचा है तभी तो कम्युनिस्ट खत्म हो गए. सोल ऑफ इंडिया बचा ही तभी जब ये खत्म हो गए, धीरे धीरे पूरी तरह से खत्म हो जाएगी.
Okay, let's see what the soul of India tolerates tomorrow and how it survives. One thing one can say with quite certainty, that irrespective of the kind of politics and politicians we have seen over the last 7 decades and more, the soul of India, thankfully, is far too hardy to be crumbling or to die under such assaults. For the time being, thank you very much, both gentlemen and J.B. Mathur, for having joined us. Remember This kind of politics may be very, very convenient when it comes to numbers, but when you have such pictures with a convicted person and still claim that you are fighting for the soul of India, that becomes just a little difficult to swallow. And on such kind of doublespeak, the buck stops here. Thanks for watching.